What's up, everybody? Welcome back into our Pro Football Network Senior Bowl preview. I'm Cody Roark, Senior NFL Analyst at Pro Football Network. We're talking about the linebacker position today. Some of these prospects that can either be great plug-in fits in terms of their versatility, be able to stuff the run and also cover out of the backfield, which is a very important trait. And in order to discuss some of these prospects this week at practice and obviously the game this Saturday in Mobile, Alabama, I'm joined by Pro Football Network's draft analysts. That is Ian Cummings and Dalton Miller. We're going to break it down, folks. You know, the thing that I want to start off with, the linebacker position, we see these different guys. I think every NFL team, they're looking for the next type of player who could be like a Fred Warner, just so versatile, the ability to stuff the run, the ability to cover tight ends, receivers, running backs. Now, it's very hard to identify that, especially at the collegiate level. There's some stocky guys there, but, you know, overall for you, Ian, what player do you have your eye on this week? And can this player provide that element to an NFL team?
Yeah, there are a couple players I have my eye on. Jabril Cox from NDSU is one. Translated really well to the SEC, I thought, this year. Had a few hiccups, but showed that his talent could make an impact. So I think that's going to be good for him. Also, Baron Browning out of Ohio State. He's very athletic, and he has really good size, too. So he's a guy who could go way earlier than people expect. But I'm going to throw another name out there, a guy who's a little bit not as big from a hype standpoint, but much bigger from a physical standpoint. Charles Snowden out of Virginia. This guy is 6'7", 240. Now, obviously, there might be a little bit of wiggle room with the official Senior Bowl measurements, but the bottom line is the guy is huge. He's rangy, and I think he has good athleticism for that size too. And you talk about, you know, making tackles in the running game, covering the pass. You know, his length and his fluidity in space allows him to do that. And, you know, he's so rangy. He can make tackles in pursuit. He can disrupt the passing lane. There's a lot of potential there. The problem is, can he put it together? I don't think he did that quite enough at the college level, showed off that he has the upside. Now it's up to an NFL coaching staff to mold that. And I think the Senior Bowl is going to be another really good opportunity for him to kind of emphasize that and put that in the backs of scouts' minds.
One of the advantages of being 6'7", especially with how big an NFL offensive line are, you can read guard pulls a lot quicker. You could see in the backfield. You may not get deceived, but also, you know, I think when you talk about that size, you have to wonder if some NFL coaches would maybe ask him if he's going to convert positions potentially, maybe to a safety, maybe to an edge guy. We tend to see that sometimes. So it's going to be very interesting when it comes to Snowden. But Dalton, this week at practice in Mobile, who do you have your eye on that linebacker side of things? Because, I mean, like I mentioned, you talk about a 6'7" guy. What else is out there? Is there any guys that have that 4.4 speed, potentially maybe to go sideline to sideline?
You know what? When he was talking about Snowden there, I wasn't sure if he was talking about Snowden or if he was talking about UNC's Chaz Surratt, because I feel like they're very similar players. They're long, rangy. He's actually a quarterback convert, and it'll be interesting to see where he transitions to in the NFL. But a guy that I'm really looking at, it kind of fits the modern mold of an NFL linebacker now that we're seeing, is Monty Rice from Georgia. He's around 6'3", 235 pounds. And he's a guy that, you know, in coverage is really, really good. His issues come from a little bit of a lack of length overall for the position, and he lacks, I guess, the ideal size for an NFL linebacker. But as we're seeing, it's a transition, and we're seeing lighter linebackers all the time because we are in a passing league these days. I think that because of how he plays as a player, I think that he is going to be better if he is an off-ball will linebacker in an even front where he can be stacked, where he has defenders in front of him who are going to take double teams for him. I think that he needs to get a little bit quicker in his key reads, but he's somebody with all the potential in the world to be a starting linebacker at the NFL level.
Yeah, and the thing with Rice is that, you know, it's weird because he doesn't have a lot of height because he produced at a top-tier school. And I think he has the athleticism to be a starter, potentially. So the Senior Bowl is a big chance for him to kind of emphasize that and, you know, kind of put the nail in and say, hey, I'm here too, because there's a lot of high upside linebackers with more size in the middle rounds, and he kind of gets flushed out, but he's definitely a name to watch.
And to me, it's always interesting how the position, I mean, we talk about this as the multitude of positions, how it changes every single year in terms of needs. I remember the old school physical style of linebacker play back when Al Wilson played for the Denver Broncos. You know, you've seen the transition. You still see some of those guys like that, but it's really that range, that versatility. Guys like Bobby Wagner who have that size, who have the ability to move. I think that's what NFL defense, as you guys alluded to too, with the passing emphasis in the NFL right now, the spread them out, quick offense, put up 40 points per game approach. You have to be able to have those guys that can cover deep across the middle when they have to get, obviously in a drop back, whether it be zone, whether it be man coverage. They're going to be put in situations like that. And obviously the Senior Bowl is the perfect platform for them to showcase their talents, folks. Here at Pro Football Network, we're going through our linebacker preview on our next installment here this week as the Senior Bowl approaches one step closer this Saturday. We're going to be taking a look at the cornerback position, a position that you can't have enough of those guys now at the NFL roster. So with that said, I'm Cody Roark here, ProFootballNetwork.com. We'll see you for our next installment.